Burma is one of the worst violators of human rights in the world, including abuses of religious freedom.
Well, Burma is ruled by one of the world's worst regimes, a regime that is guilty of every possible human rights violation, from the widespread and systematic use of rape as a weapon of war, the destruction of thousands of villages, the use of forced labour, over 2,000 political prisoners in jail today facing severe torture, and all sorts of other abuses. So the situation is desperate from a human rights perspective and from a humanitarian perspective. There's famine and poverty. It's one of the poorest countries in the world that has been, run into the ground by this regime.
At Christian Solidarity Worldwide, we've been documenting and raising awareness about these human rights abuses for over 2 decades. Our aim is to see long-lasting change for the people of Burma, to see a democratic Burma in which the human rights of all people are upheld and where all can enjoy full freedom, including religious freedom. We often make fact-finding visits to Burma and its borders in order to understand the situation there firsthand, so that we can advocate effectively and be an authentic voice for the voiceless. Journey with us now on our most recent visit, where we were accompanied by some CSW supporters. The CSW team travelled to a camp for internally displaced people in Karen State in Burma, where over 1,000 IDPs are currently seeking shelter from Burmese military attacks on their villages. But they're not completely safe even here. The camp itself has been threatened with attack twice in the last 2 years alone. After arriving at the IDP camp, the team began to meet families who had only just come in the last couple of days. This family had to flee their village after being forced to work for the Burma army. Now they're trying to rebuild their lives.
I saw a lot of people who are, living these very kind of basic lives, who've been kind of handed from their homes and are doing their best to make some sense of community in this camp. They seem to be really resilient, and they seem to still be, even the children, they're so happy and friendly. You just think, how can they be that way? And they've been through this kind of difficult experience. Talking to some of these IDPs who'd walked for 2 days to get to the camp, and I just thought, wow, I can't even manage a couple of hours of heat and not having enough water. And it's just one example of how comfortable our lives are and how different theirs are.
Today is going to be a really interesting day, rather different to yesterday. We're specifically looking at meeting cyclone victims and looking at their situation, and with specific stuff to find out. I was really surprised and impressed by the sort of calm and almost unperturbed way in which people talked about their experiences.
Mae La camp on the Thai-Burma border holds over 40,000 refugees. We met with Pastor Robert to learn more about the situation and its challenges.
They lost everything. Some of the people we know is the real refugee, because in the sun of the area, a lot of fighting and a lot of relocation, and also some of the village they are burned down to move the people. So there are people they cannot stay in their own village, though they come in here. But if they are arriving here, they didn't receive for the food, because many new arrivals coming, and also some of the people, like I tell you, for the Nanki sugar. But the people also, they don't want to stay in their own place. Some of them lost everything for the family, for the children, for the husband, for the wife. So they don't want to stay, also they come in here.
Burma's a beautiful country, and it's full of beautiful people and extraordinary contrasts. A government with less than 10% of the popular mandate, mobilizing its 400,000 strong army in a war waged against its own people and resourced with 50% of the national budget, must surely be reckoned as illegitimate both in its behaviour and in its very existence.
Despite all of the suffering and the pain that they're going through, there is a real hope that there will be a free Burma in the future, and lots of people have talked about when Burma is free, which is a really amazing thing to think when people are in the situation that they're in.
Everybody we've talked to practically has emphasised the importance of prayer, that the situation is not going to change without prayer, and that again is something we all get stuck into.
They've also said as well is that they can't do that by themselves, so they need us to support them. They need people to pray for them. They need people to campaign. They need people to put pressure on the international community. So I think for me, coming out of this, going home, for me, the message will be to tell people about what's happening in Burma, to make sure they know what's happening in Burma, and to really encourage them to get involved and to be a voice for these people who really need our help.
We have got the campaign, the Change for Burma. We can get stuck in. It's something everybody can get involved in, every church, every individual, and that is what will put pressure on politicians and governments to actually provide the international action.
Pray, pray, pray is the message that we have received time and again, and that translates into individuals becoming, first of all, acquainted with the situation and with the people, and that's a wonderful motivator then to want the best for them. So the place to start is the Change for Burma website. Have a look at that and then get involved and be like the Burma people. Never give up and know that change will come.